Oh my fucking God!
Sonny!
Sonny! What?
Every Appalachian camping encounter starts with one small decision to keep exploring. Moments later come strange voices, dark figures, eerie whistles, and unexplained screams. Would you ignore the warning signs or keep going? On May 30th, 2026, paranormal investigator Jake Bruce and his teammate Clayton explored several abandoned locations across West Virginia and Tennessee in the Appalachian region. Posted on the Jake Bruce YouTube channel, known for paranormal investigations, abandoned places, and horror challenges, the trip began as a search for answers. But as strange voices, moving shadows, and unexplained contact followed them from one location to the next, the investigation gradually became much darker. Their first stop was Kmart Coal Ghost Town in West Virginia. Jake and Clayton descended 821 steps to a mining community, abandoned during the 1940s. At least 21 miners had lost their lives there in separate accidents. Inside a ruined building, they used an Alice box. The device produced words linked to sadness and difficult conditions before giving the name Nick.
So if there's any miners or anybody who hear us, can you tell us anything about yourself?
Oh, whoa!
Horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Call out horrible.
And we were just talking about, you talked out loud about jobs we would
Job
hate.
being horrible.
Horrible.
Exactly.
What emotion were you feeling during the times you were alive and working here?
Said. Because they already said the emotion. It's
horrible. Who are we speaking with?
Nick.
As they prepared to leave, the EMF meter suddenly reached the red zone, even though the area had no active electricity.
Yo, wait.
Whoa.
We're getting EMF spikes in the middle of nowhere. Nick, if this is you, can you touch that again?
It just... Dude. Nick is here, bro.
Yes.
Their next destination was Elkmont, Tennessee, an abandoned town connected to the 1969 disappearance of 6-year-old Dennis Martin. At one house, a stuck doorknob suddenly turned and the door opened. Soon afterward, Clayton spotted a dark figure near the base of a tree. It moved quickly before disappearing.
Dude, that tree right in front of that house closest to us, to where I'm pointing to, there was a black mass that covered the bottom tree. It looked like it walked like this real quick.
Okay.
While asking questions about Dennis, the spirit box repeated part of Jake's sentence. Jake then noticed a light shining through the window of another abandoned house.
Let's do that. Was that you?
You just went like, No, it was not.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Whoa, Clayton.
Whoa.
There was just a light in that window right there. The light was right there in that window. It appeared right here. It was like right here in this window.
Arrived.
Arrived right when we walked into this house.
Man, that's creepy as hell. You heard that right?
Yeah.
Inside the device produced the words, arrived, fresh, and case. As they discussed reports of feral people living in the forest, a strange squeal interrupted the silence. Jake's heart rate climbed to 133 beats per minute.
Do you know anything about the feral? What?
What?
Was that, dude? What? That was a squeak. Dude, that sounds like Mothman. That sounds like a cryptid, What? What?
Dude, I just saw somebody run across the road.
No, you didn't. Did you
Yes,
film it?
I did.
Were you filming it?
It was filming that way.
How far down?
It was like halfway down.
Let's go.
Into that white house right there, dude.
Moments later, a figure appeared to run across the road. Inside a white house, they heard a loud crash, followed by the sound of someone crying.
There's the crying. What is going on, Clayton? Whoa. Something just crashed in the house. Clayton, what was that?
Dude, I don't know.
Before leaving, Jake noticed what looked like a head and shoulders in a window. On the dusty glass, they found finger marks, along with a small handprint.
Right here?
It was right here. It was like this tall and it just went like this. These windows, can you see the stuff on the windows? Yeah. Nothing, right where I saw it. Finger scratches.
That's a little kid hand.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Look at that. Look,
Dude,
that's my hand.
Dennis Martin was 6.
Oh.
Killed.
No way.
The spirit box then produced the word killed. The marks did not prove any connection to Dennis Martin, but the timing unsettled the group. At Point Pleasant, West Virginia, they visited the Mothman Museum and reviewed the 1966 sightings along with the 1967 Silver Bridge collapse.
December 15th, 1967, the Silver Bridge suddenly collapsed during rush hour traffic and killing 46 people. But what makes this even more terrifying is that it happened almost exactly 1 year after the first Mothman sighting. And for months, people across town had been reporting encounters with the creature. Due to these strange events, many believe that the Mothman was actually the cause of the fatal bridge collapse.
They later entered the TNT bunkers, heard a sharp screech, and found a pentagram and the number 666 on a wall. The spirit box produced the words monster and bend over.
Whoa, what was that screech? That's what he said to make.
Did you hear an actual like high-pitched squeak?
Yes, I did.
Do you see that shit?
Yeah, oh,
And
dude.
666, dude.
What? Pentagram.
Dude, look, and then there's another outer ring.
Can you tell us if the Mothman's real? Is there anything else you can tell us about Mothman? Where did the Mothman live? Bend over?
Their final stop was the abandoned old hospital on College Hill in Williamson. Cameras recorded noises from the basement while everyone was outside. Jake later explored alone, captured unclear EVP audio, and lost contact with Clayton after the radio signal suddenly broke apart. A strange voice then came through the walkie-talkie.
Whoa, 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 we got something. What the fuck? No, I heard nothing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh my god! Dude, somebody is trying to make me not talk to Clayton.
On the second floor, the Alice box produced the word shoes as Jake heard rapid footsteps. It later generated edge and a head, followed by a whistle and a scream.
There's a tab down there. Alright, I'm hearing what sounds like footsteps from both sides of me, man. What was that? What was that? There was just like a whoo! Somebody just screamed, bro. I made my way to the basement and tried one more EVP session. It said, I tried the walkie, bro. Oh my gosh. That voice just said, I tried the walkie.
In the basement, an EVP appeared to mention the walkie-talkie. At 5:20 a.m., while Jake slept on the hospital floor, something tapped the camera lens.
You hear that? Just tap the camera right there.
Some viewers believed Nick was trying to protect them, while skeptics pointed to radio interference shadows, animals, or people hiding nearby. What do you think? Was Nick trying to warn them? Or was the greatest danger inside those abandoned places something human? Picture yourself returning to the same secluded campsite where strangers once destroyed your tent and forced you to flee. This time the camper hoped to replace those terrifying memories with better ones. Instead, the nightmares seemed ready to unfold once again. In September 2024, the creator of the Northwest Wind YouTube channel traveled back to an undisclosed location for another stealth camping adventure. A few months earlier, he had already gone through a frightening experience in that same jungle-like area. During the previous trip, unknown people damaged his tent while he slept, and unidentified individuals chased him out of the woods. Even though he was uneasy about returning countless requests from viewers, persuaded him to camp there one last time. He hoped the second visit would leave him with more positive memories of the location. Instead, the outing soon turned into another terrifying ordeal.
30 nights of my life, 1 complete month I have spent stealth camping for you. We're back here tonight, gonna attempt to stay the night here. Got a nice dinner to be prepared, something I've never tried before. Gonna sleep under the stars. Last time, I don't think it could go much worse, and if it does, you'll probably never see these clips. I always gotta come back for the camera. So in the 8, 9, or 10 months since I posted this video, have asked me to come back and attempt to camp here once more. I really did not want to, nor do I want to be here right now at all. I figured a lot of people want to see it, so we're gonna give this a fair shake. Again, I'm not thrilled about it. Not happy to be here. It's not as cold or wet. Last time there was snow and ice on the ground, and it's generally kind of like a low-lying, marshy, swampy area. Degrees warmer than last time, which makes things nice as well. So gonna get some gear unpacked here and kind of settle in so to speak. Warm, no chance of rain, so we're gonna try and sleep under the stars tonight. So I feel like I'm being watched. Every direction that I look in is all completely forested and vegetative, so I just have no bearing or sense of zone 1 being like within 50 yards, everything I can see. Zone 2 would be like within a 3 to 5 minute walk. And then zone 3 is everything beyond.
His plan to spend the night beneath the open sky quickly unraveled when unsettling and unexplained noises started echoing from the darkness.
It's only just before 8 o'clock, still a little bit of sunlight left, but I just feel that feeling again. It's not as strong. I don't feel like just the vibe. There's a vibe here and I don't like it at all. There's also a very weird smell, rotting or like something's dead, but just like some kind of smell. I don't know what it is. It smells like a lot of vegetables, but not fresh. I don't know how to describe. That was not here last time, and it's honestly kind of putrid, but there's definitely a smell here, and I noticed it right when I got back here, and it's kind of like getting stronger. I did just hear someone yelling back there. Someone's yelling back there. I don't know how far away, reasonably close. There's people talking for sure. And I hear people walking too. Might not be easy to pick up on the camera, but not that far behind me. Hey! Hi! Someone's walking back in there now. I'm not like scared because I can just leave at any time, but someone's walking back in here now too. Someone's walking back super thick over there. Someone's walking back behind this over here. And now they just stopped. Hi! I hear somebody talking. And I am ready just in case. I have a knife. Where's my knife? I'm gonna pack my stuff up and just have it on my back. I'm not gonna go sprinting out of here like last time. I'm gonna hang tight for a little bit and just, I don't wanna do anything at the moment, but they came around there, like I said, and it sounds like they're right on the other side of this big thick stuff over here. They know I'm here. Not dealing with this, not dealing with it, not dealing with this. Hi, hello, hi. Closer than they were before. So, hi, just hanging out. This has been recording. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna stay tonight, boys and girls. Ah! Oh, okay, all right, okay. That guy was right, okay, let's go. All right, I'm out, see ya.
The sounds made him realize he might not have been alone in the area. Since the footage was uploaded, viewers have continued debating what may have taken place that night and during the earlier camping trip at the same location. Some believe trail cameras should be installed around the area to capture whatever travels through the woods after sunset. Others believe a group of homeless people could have been staying nearby and intentionally tried to scare them away from their campsite. In dense vegetation, voices and footsteps are often difficult to pinpoint, while anyone nearby can stay concealed behind trees and thick brush. They may have only wanted him to leave, but their real motive remains a mystery. What do you think was hiding in the darkness? This incident occurred on March 21st, 2026. During a cold evening at Pocomoke Ranch, a property widely recognized as one of America's most haunted farms, CJ and Sonny lit a campfire outside the old farmhouse and attempted to unwind. They had not even gone inside when the unusual activity started. Without any warning, a loud heavy crash suddenly echoed nearby while they were still seated around the fire.
To somebody lucky in the month of May. It's pretty cool, but we're going to sleep inside here tonight, and yeah, we're probably a little closer to the house.
The unexpected sound caused both men to freeze instantly.
Peep.
Nothing.
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 That is the first noise we have heard all night long.
CJ turned towards Sonny, but neither of them had made the noise. After that, the farmhouse fell completely silent, almost as if it were waiting for them to make the next move.
It's probably a better option and alternative than going inside of this place. Maybe we just sit by the fire for like 20, 35 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, a couple hours, and we just let it play out. We just let it play out. Always just feels like something.
Once they finally entered the building, More strange sounds followed almost immediately. While standing on the staircase, they heard something slam to the floor in the room below. They searched the area but couldn't locate anything that had fallen or been disturbed. After dark, the farmhouse felt completely different. Everyday objects suddenly appeared unsettling, and every shadow filling the corners made them stop and examine the surroundings more closely. They then activated a spirit box. The device started producing words neither of them wanted to hear. One response followed another, gradually sounding less like random radio broadcasts and more like a warning.
Astral.
Astral? What?
What? Astral.
The Houston Astrals.
Fallen from heaven.
Yo, that's like not to play with right there. The devil type stuff.
Yeah.
Who you mean fall? Who fell from heaven?
Yes to all.
We didn't ask no questions. Who fell from heaven?
Political activist.
So like all political activists are...
The following words became even more unsettling and far more difficult to dismiss. Later, a cold draft swept through the attic despite every window remaining closed. The spirit device continued generating unclear words that neither of them could fully understand.
Green box.
Cursed forests.
Cursed forest. Well, we got a cursed forest outside. And guess what? I know you can't move it. Not with me on top of it. Belief. I'm not believing.
These tales are to be told.
These tales are to be told.
I ain't gonna bullshit y'all. It's creepy up here. I wish I could understand this so we could get some answers or something. Like, I want to know who pulled me down the damn steps, who pulled me down the steps, who tried to pull me down the steps the second time. There's just so much with this place and freaking Annabelle and portals, the green box and everything that it's getting crazier and crazier. I got goosebumps now.
Sonny asked who had attempted to shove him down the stairs during an earlier investigation. No direct reply came. Instead, he sensed only a cold presence standing close beside him.
Ow! What's that? The fucking door. CJ! CJ! The fucking door's closed. CJ!
A few moments later, the attic door abruptly slammed shut behind him, trapping him inside. When he reached the door and tried to pull it open, it refused to budge. As he stood near the entrance, an object suddenly flew toward him from another part of the attic.
How did the fucking doll fly up here?
Oh, shit. Oh, my fucking light just died. That was loud. Whatever what was inside was loud. My light just died. Oh, he's screaming.
Oh, shit. Damn it. I hate a light.
CJ! Dude! You good? No, not good.
I'm trying to get my light on my camera. What'd you do?
Dude, the attic door slammed shut on me.
What?
I was stuck in the attic.
Is that what that noise was?
Yes. Door closed. I was doing a necrophonic. I got upset because I couldn't understand what it was saying. I shut it off. The door slammed behind me. As I was walking up to the door, I heard another noise. A doll that is up in the attic flew at me and landed on the floor right in front of me. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Sonny eventually returned downstairs looking visibly shaken. Meanwhile, CJ had witnessed something unusual outside while Sonny remained in the attic. Looking through a window, CJ noticed a white figure move rapidly from the top of the farmhouse roof toward the tree line.
Did you see that? It went
light from the top of the house. No. Move that way a little bit with your shadow. I'm telling you, that had to, dude, I don't know which way it had to have caught that on camera. I don't know what the hell that was, but it was white and it moved from the roof down to the tree.
Was it a goose?
No, geese aren't out at night. They're in the barns and shit. Throw that thing. Throw it.
That did nothing.
Oh my fucking God! Sonny! Sonny!
What? Dude, you're scaring the shit out of me. What is it?
I'm telling you, like, I don't know what moved from the top of the house.
The entire movement happened in one swift motion. He could not determine what he had seen. He was convinced it was neither a bird nor a reflection. The figure appeared to travel in a clear direction before suddenly vanishing, and CJ found himself unable to stop watching the farmhouse afterward.
I've never been that frightened because I've never have seen an apparition inside of this house until tonight. Don't have no heart attack on me, but I know for a fact what I saw in there, and that shit creeped me out. I saw it through the windows. It's not like I was in there at that point. That's the thing that's been messing me up the whole time I've been out.
Later that night, both men finally settled into the camper to get some sleep. Even then, the activity had not ended. A loud, forceful bang suddenly jolted them awake from a deep sleep. The sound seemed to come from the direction of the farmhouse.
Did you hear that?
Oh, it hit my fucking head.
Huh?
Oh, shit.
What are you doing?
I jumped up and hit my head on the top of the here.
What'd you do that for? Did you hear that?
What the hell's going on? Son of a bitch.
Sonny sat upright so fast that he hit his head on the bunk above him. CJ immediately reached for his camera. Neither of them wanted to go outside to investigate, yet the noise was impossible to ignore, as they remained sitting in complete silence. Soon afterward, the spirit device, which was still running nearby, produced 2 additional words. This was only the second episode in a 5-part series. Whatever might have been responsible for the activity inside the farmhouse already seemed to know they intended to come back. Older buildings often produce loud bangs as wood doors and other materials expand or contract in cold weather. Even so, that does not fully account for the locked attic door, the airborne object, or the white figure CJ witnessed outside. Were these unrelated natural occurrences, or was something inside the farmhouse responding to their presence? What started as a simple equipment test captured something James never saw. While he focused on the bright lights, a pale figure appeared to move behind a nearby tree. The incident happened on January 20, 2024 during a cold winter evening. James, a TikTok creator known as Mr. Fender76, had gone outside to film one of his usual videos. His content normally centers on camping gear and outdoor setups. However, this recording became something completely unexpected. That evening, James entered a nearby forest to test a new set of reverse lights for one of his followers.
The lights are definitely functional, but unfortunately I live in a city and there are street lights everywhere. But I can find a place to go test them.
As he recorded in the darkness, everything seemed calm and ordinary. The forest stayed quiet and nothing appeared out of place.
Okay, I found some really dark woods. I just put some tinfoil over the reverse lights, and then I'm gonna uncover them and show you what the added reverse lights look like. These are the stock reverse lights, and these are the ones I just installed. Look how friggin' bright that is. This is amazing.
However, a closer look at the footage reveals something unusual in the background. On the right side of the frame, what appears to be a pale arm is wrapped around a tree before slowly pulling back into the shadows. The figure remains partially hidden, positioned as though it is silently watching him. James noticed nothing while filming and uploaded the video to TikTok without concern. He only became aware of the strange detail after viewers repeatedly pointed it out in the comments. James left the forest safely, but the footage raised questions that were never answered. Bright artificial lighting can create strong reflections and make pale objects appear human-like. Even so, the shape seems to retreat behind the tree. Was someone watching James, or did the camera capture an illusion? The next encounter leaves behind another disturbing mystery. A peaceful family getaway became unsettling when a metallic sound echoed from deep within the forest. It continued much longer than expected, leaving everyone unsure of what they were hearing. Dario and his family spent several days at a cabin in the Appalachian Mountains to relax and enjoy time together. They knew nothing about the strange stories connected to the surrounding area. One evening, the family was relaxing in the hot tub outside when a loud and unsettling noise suddenly echoed from somewhere deep in the woods. Confused and alarmed, Dario took out his phone and began recording. At first, no one could understand what they were hearing because the sound seemed too unusual to have an obvious source. A few days later, they looked into the history of the area and learned that locals often talked about strange noises and eerie echoes similar to the one they had heard. The sound captured in Dario's recording was not background music or an audio malfunction. It appeared to be coming directly from the forest.
Yeah, that was a car. Shit. Who said aliens, bro?
I said
Kaylin. I think it's a train.
Es que porque suena así a la verga.
But that's just scary.
Okay, do you guys want to go inside?
No.
I'm recording this shit.
To some listeners, it sounded like a train slowing to a stop because of its sharp metallic screech. However, the noise did not fade away quickly. It continued for an unusually long time as it echoed through the woods. Dario and his family eventually realized something did not feel right, so they got out of the hot tub and went back inside the cabin. The sound remains unexplained. Mountain terrain can distort distant noises, but what produced that long metallic screech deep in the forest? What would you do if a tall, dark figure suddenly appeared among the trees? Would you keep recording or leave before it disappeared from sight? The footage was uploaded on April 5, 2024, although it had been recorded much earlier. Native American guide Daniel Whitehead captured it on October 26, 2022 near Baxter, Tennessee. While walking through the woods in Silver Point, Tennessee, Daniel spotted something that immediately made him stop. A tall, dark figure was standing upright between the trees, unlike anything he had expected to see that day.
I'm afraid. Oh my God.
Daniel quickly lifted his camera and recorded the figure before it disappeared from view.
Incredible arm length. Hey, do you see that? Do you see that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. How did you see that? Do you see that? Oh my God. Oh my God. How did you see that?
After the footage was posted online, viewers were divided. Some believed the figure looked like Bigfoot, while skeptics argued it was a hiker or someone wearing a costume. Distance and tree cover may have distorted its appearance, but the upright posture remains unusual. Did Daniel capture a prank, an ordinary person, or something unknown? A couple who enjoyed hiking became fascinated by the local legends and decided to spend several nights in a cabin deep within the Appalachian forest. At first, the trip was calm and peaceful. The surrounding woods were quiet and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Everything changed around 2 a.m. when loud and disturbing noises suddenly woke them.
Mike.
From somewhere outside, they heard a woman desperately screaming the Spanish word for help. Then the situation became even more frightening. Gunshots echoed through the forest, followed by complete silence. Because the local folklore made the sound seem supernatural, the couple did not contact the police. However, the screams and gunshots may have come from a woman facing a real emergency. No update ever confirmed what happened, although hopefully they contacted authorities after posting the video. Fear can cause people to misinterpret an emergency, especially when they expect something paranormal. The truth may have been ordinary, but far more serious. Should they have called the police immediately? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. Share it with us and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.